Welcome back to Yahoo Finance Live. As we've been discussing through this pandemic, more and more Americans are struggling with the issue of food insecurity. When you look at the numbers, they're staggering to size it all up. Keep in mind, before the pandemic hit back in 2018, nearly 8 million Americans, just 4% of adults here in the country, reported members of their households sometimes or often not having enough food to eat. That number surged to 26 to 29 million Americans, or 11% of adults, since we've hit this pandemic here. And joining us now to discuss that is Food Research and Action President Luis Guardia. Joins us now as part of our Food Insecurity in America segment, sponsored by CIT. And Luis, I mean, the numbers are staggering here, and I know that's just the headline number, but talk to me about what you're seeing play out across the nation here. Put that number into context for us when we talk about how big of a problem this has now become.
Yeah, it's an enormous problem, and as you mentioned in our report, when we saw that 26 to 29 million adults reported that they sometimes are often don't have enough to eat, that is a stage of food insecurity where people are not just, it's beyond food insecurity in a way. It's beyond not having certainty about where your food's going to come from. It's actually changing in meal patterns. It's actually having to make tough decisions about whether or not you're going to buy food, or you're going to buy medicine, or you're going to pay your rent, or you pay some of your medical bills, prescription medicines, all that stuff. So it's and it happened incredibly quickly. I mean, we saw equally the spike in unemployment as well during the early months of COVID. But we're concerned that things could get worse. As we know, we're in the midst of a second wave of COVID. People are worried about unemployment insurance expiring, evictions on moratoriums, or moratoriums on evictions expiring, and unemployment increases as well. So, I think you were reporting earlier there was some action on this, some late-breaking news on this, and we hope to see some food assistance in that can help struggling families.
To what extent have we seen that insecurity increase as a result of some of these programs being ended? I mean, you've already talked about the initial stimulus checks, as well as the enhanced unemployment benefits. A number of these nonprofit groups that I've spoken to have said, look, it's surprising how much that additional help really did help support the system overall. But the fear is that at the end of the year, everything will essentially come to a breaking point because these programs expire. When you look at the actual number of those who are going hungry, how much of a spike are you expecting?
Well, as I mentioned, we are pretty concerned. I mean, with unemployment benefits, if they're not renewed, if there isn't another package, that additional $300 could go away. I mean, we already saw it go down from $600 to $300, and as well, we're concerned about I believe it's 30 to 40 million people who could be facing evictions if that moratorium is not extended. So, in addition to the economy and joblessness and people not having enough money to buy adequate and nutritious food, we have these other factors coming into play, and it could be a quite devastating winter. Let alone, of course, the fact that we're, as I said before, like we're in the second wave of coronavirus. Winter, we've known for a while that winter is going to be tougher, and folks have additional expenses. For example, a lot of struggling families have also utility bills that are coming due, and and they really need that assistance to make up for that.
Yeah, Luis, I mean, when we talk about all the different aspects that the government could try to pull here in addressing, the hardest hit communities, it's something we've been stressing in terms of the deaths that we've seen from communities of color. It also shows up in your guys' statistics as well when you think about who's actually food insecure in this country, 1 in 5. But when you look at Hispanic or African American communities, that doubles nearly 2 in 5, 40% of that group. Specifically, you guys laid out 3 policy proposals when it comes to boosting SNAP, or food stamps as it used to be called, boosting the minimums of that program and lifting the rules attached to it as well. But talk to me about how those implications, or how those policy positions might actually more directly address some of the hardest hit communities here when you think about that money getting back into the economy here, and why that's the right way to go to solve what we're seeing play out here.
Yeah. So those policy recommendations, they are really kind of rooted in a history of proven efficacy. So one of the things that we've been calling for quite some time throughout the summer has been a boost to the SNAP maximum benefit by 15%. This is in line with what we saw during the last Great Recession in 2008, 2009 under the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act, or the ARA Act. SNAP benefits were increased by 13 to 14%. So it's on that order, certainly within that order of magnitude. And we saw a really beneficial effect on people who were struggling with hunger. Not only that, you also kind of hinted a bit to and asked about the economy. So the important thing also to note is when we had that increase, the Department of Agriculture and a lot of economists looked at to see, well, what was the benefit of that? Well, we know people were fed and less people went hungry, but we also found out that SNAP is an incredibly powerful fiscal stimulus tool for the economy. And the numbers are quite impressive on that as well. We saw that SNAP, for every $1 SNAP benefits spent, $1.50 to $1.80 went back into the economy. So that's a really good return for a public service program that is really kind of geared to help people. But we've also found that it boosts the economy. The other things that I think are important to note, some of the policy things, is that we're also looking for some of the harmful rules that have been put in place to kind of restrict access to SNAP, that those be abandoned. During right now, during this time, it's really important that we don't cut off this benefit to people.
Yeah, a very important reminder there, especially at the end of the year when that need is the most. Luis Guardia, Food Research and Action Center President, it's good to talk to you for this very timely conversation.
Thanks for the time. Appreciate it.